Yesterday, I saw the new Ryan Coogler film Sinners, which is his first original film in quite a while. I mean, he's been stuck with those two Black Panther movies, which got critical acclaim, and this is getting critical acclaim as well. What's my unpopular opinion? It's just that I thought it was okay. Sorry, I gotta play to the algorithm a bit with these titles and thumbnails, but in no way did I think this was a bad movie. And I'd recommend it because it seems like a lot of the general movie-going public likes this movie. This is a very interesting Hollywood release that's a completely original idea. This is set in Jim Crow era America, and once again, Michael B. Jordan leads a Ryan Coogler film. He's one of the better actors that's in a lot of recent Hollywood productions, and he does a great job in here. But I do wish that his main character, who is actually a dual role, was played a little bit more distinguished between the two different characters that he plays. So I do think some of that is up to the script itself. The format of this movie is interesting. The story structure itself had a little bit of a rough start for me. I don't like this element that it kind of foreshadows to happen later in the movie, which was something that I wish I just discovered organically while watching the movie. And I do think the first act is a little bit of a slow start to build up its characters, but I started having a lot of fun with its second act, which has one of the craziest scenes in a movie that I've seen all year. This is a scene everybody's talking about. I do not want to spoil it for you, but wow, it's a scene that does feel cheesy in some aspects, but cheesy in a good way. And there are a lot of elements with the film's horror, especially that feel a little bit like a cheesy 80s horror movie that has become a cult classic. And I think that works. It doesn't feel like, oh, this is super corny to the point of thinking that it was a flaw that's cheesy, but I think the cheesiness does add to my enjoyment of this movie. This is a film that blends horror elements, drama elements, thriller elements, and action elements. And it's a mix of different genres in that regard. And again, I think the horror works best in its cheese direction. I don't think it ever really scared me. There are a couple of jump scares that are kind of like, okay. And the action itself, I do wish was directed a little bit more clearly, because there were some parts where I'm like, okay, wait, did that character just get injured? Did that character just get taken out? But I will say that's about the flaws with the direction, because I love how some scenes are directed in this movie. That aforementioned scene that I said everybody's talking about is directed in such an interesting way, and there are a lot of long takes in this film coordinating amongst crowds of characters that I think this was a fantastic looking film in that regard, and very impressive. There are some elements that I don't like with the film's look. There's a scene or two, and I don't know if it's a problem with focus or if they use a green screen, that look a little bit weird, where it's like, wait, that background looks fake. Again, it must be a focus problem, because I don't think they just used a green screen, but I was like, okay, that doesn't look too good. Anyway, so I had problems with the structure and little parts here and there with the direction. I really love the performances beyond Michael B. Jordan. Haley Steinfeld's in here, who I loved so much in my teenage years. She was like a huge crush of mine. And she has a really fun role that's more mature than what I've seen her in recently, so that's really cool. There's some other great supporting roles from Wunmi Musaku, who I only saw from the Marvel films that she pops up in, but she was awesome in this movie. There was also a newcomer to acting, Miles Caton, who I'm not familiar with, but he did a great job as well. It was cool to see Delroy Lindo, and I really liked his character. I also liked Omar Benson Miller's character. There's a lot of memorable supporting characters in this regard. I also really like the score of this film. This is the return of Ludwig in a Coogler film, and there are some score tracks I'm like, oh yeah, that was really awesome. And this is, in many ways, a musical film. That's a genre I forgot to mention in its blend of genres, because there's some interesting musical sequences, and it mixes different types of music. There's a lot of blues in here, but you also get, I think, some Irish folk music as well. And I was like, okay, this is really awesome. And that's not all the genres they touch in music. So I really liked how it discussed music, how it discussed the power of music. Even if that aspect was a little bit on the nose, I don't totally mind if something's on the nose. Just give me an interesting deliverance of what it's trying to say. So I really enjoyed those aspects. And this isn't an important thing at all, but I thought this movie was pretty sexy. It did not hold back in its themes of sexuality. That was cool. And I just had to touch on two more problems I have with the film. I do think the film has an annoying amount of flashbacks of things that were already shown in the film. It's like an important moment will happen, and it reminds viewers why this moment is important, and it would flash back to knowledge that was delivered earlier in the film, and it's like, You know, we've seen this film. You don't have to re-show us that scene. We have a brain. And then my other problem would be, again, with the structure, where I feel like the ending almost ends in a very abrupt way. There's a mid-credit scene that really should have been the ending of the movie. And even how everything resolves, I wanted a little bit more there. So if all things considered, I'd give this a strong 6 out of 10. One of the better films from Hollywood this year, and it's a great original film from Hollywood, which unfortunately is rare nowadays. Again, this movie's getting so much praise, you will probably love it. I'm in the unpopular opinion by giving this a 6, which is still a very positive score from me. So take that as you may. Subscribe here for more honest movie opinions, and I'll see you later. Let me know in the comments what you thought of this movie if you've seen it. Peace out.